I'd like to call the Adams County Board of Supervisors meeting to order. Mr. Bradford, would you lead us in prayer?
Yes, I will. Stand. Everybody, Heavenly Father, we thank you, oh God, this morning. We just thank you for another opportunity, oh God, to assemble in your name. And Father, we just ask, oh God, you continue to bless each and every one of us, oh God, and bless us collectively, oh God. Father, I just want to say a prayer for our elected officials, continue to keep them safe and their families, continue to give them wisdom from on high. And Father, we just want to pray, oh God, for this city, for this county, for this state, and for the United States of America, oh God. And Father, we just want to continue to ask, oh God, continue to bless our first responders, bless our school teachers, our kids that's going to school, our doctors, our nurses, as we battle through this pandemic. And oh God, we just want to ask, oh God, continue to strengthen families that may have lost loved ones, oh God. And Father, we just pray for our troops, and we just ask everything in your precious Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Dowell, would you lead us in pledge?
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion to approve the minutes from April 2022. Motion by Supervisor Wilson. Second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? Any discussion?
I got some discussion.
Okay.
This April the 18 minutes, and it's dealing with the capital improvement bond, and funding of the bond. Liberty Ballpark, Rodeo Arena, girls softball field, parks. And that's where I got a problem with girls softball fields. I'm not aware, we were spending money on a girls softball field. We don't even own that field. That field is owned by the Adams County School District. And I wasn't part of that conversation. So I don't agree with it.
I didn't even know that was supposed to be a part of it. That was never part of it, the girls' softball field. Well,
We don't even know that.
I don't know that.
Let me say this. In the past, when we do bonds, we make all the decisions while 5 supervisors are at the table. I was not at the table when that discussion took place, because I would have let this board know that we don't even own the girls' softball field. So we got a lot of stuff we got to do in the county, and everybody got money. School district got money, city got money, and the county got money. So at this particular time, if that field need upgrading, then I think they need to get that money from the owners. Schools. So how do we correct it, if y'all even want to correct it?
Well, before we could spend money on it anyway, there would have to have been a conversation with the school board, and that would have been kind of like what we did with the pool. They would have to have transferred ownership over and so forth. We could address it with the minutes now, or we can approve the minutes and address it as a motion. You know, if that's the board's approval, to not take any further action on the softball fields until, you know, further board approval. Maybe number of ways you can do it.
Mr. Attorney, I'm gonna say it as nice and plain as I can. When you start spending money on something that you don't own, then I think that's gonna open up a can of worms for everybody out there that have something that they don't own, that they own and we don't own, and want us to spend money on it. How can we tell them no when we spending some money over there and we don't even own that place? But we got other parks, other people want us to spend money too. And we own that place, but we lease it out, and I don't even think that's right. So I know I ain't finna go vote for this.
Let me say this also. Girls softball field that was an interlocal agreement with recreation. So why would we be putting that in our bond when there was an interlocal agreement between the school, the city, and the county? We shouldn't be just putting that deal ourselves, or fixing that deal. So,
Yeah, you would not be able to do anything without a conversation with the school board and getting approval.
Well, how did it even get in the bill that we don't even know about it, Scott? You saying we won't be able to do nothing, but how did it even get there? Did you know about it?
Yeah, I knew we were gonna work on it. I didn't know what the details were about, whether we were leasing it or own part of it or what.
We don't-
But I think we need to try to get on this ship, but somebody needs to do something to it because it's falling apart. And if we don't have something for our kids to do for recreation, I mean, that's a big part, it used to be a huge part of Adams County. And that place is falling apart out there.
Supervisor Wilson, I agree with you 100%. But, I think the first thing we need to do is, reach out to the owners of the property because they got way more money than we did. And let them know that this is a concern of ours and, that those fields need upgrading and they need to upgrade. That's what needs to happen.
Well, if they don't wanna do it, I'd like to see us try to take ownership of it and fix it for the residents of Adams County. We need the Adams County girls softball complex, but at any rate, something needs to be done out there.
I agree 100%, but I don't think the board of supervisors need to be doing. Bless you.
let's try to get together a conversation, a meeting with
Maybe the school
the
board.
school board and probably the city too, because, I mean, this ain't a local agreement and all the parties are
I don't think they have an agreement anymore.
I think that
within.
to clarify the minutes as to what y'all are talking about then, that's absolutely right. You cannot do any more work on the softball field unless there's something in place with the school board. And that was, what I thought that was the plan all the way along. So, if they wouldn't agree or whatever, then y'all couldn't go,
Can't spend it.
you gotta do it anyway, yeah. And if y'all want to,
I'd love to see a split and a match. If they wanted to put up what we're gonna put up or put up more, to try to do something for, like Supervisor Wilson said, for the girls in this community, because they deserve it. But again, we can't do any spending without that discussion, so as far as the minutes are concerned, what can we do?
that's what I'm saying. Clarify in those minutes that the softball fields, there's not to be any money spent without further board approval and approval of the school board. I mean, that's just the reality of it.
I don't even think it need to go without further approval of the school board, Scott, we don't even own the property. My thing is this, like I'm gonna say this again. Whatever you do for one, you got to do for somebody else, so if somebody else come up here and say that they got a complex, that they want the board of supervisors to upgrade for them, and the kids use it, what we gonna do? We just can't start upgrading everybody's property for them, man. I think the best and the correct thing to do is take it off, get with the school district and the city and the county to get together to come up with a plan, because the plan just can't be for the county to do it. You got roads, I got roads, Supervisor Gaines got roads. Y'all already short on all the time. We need all the money we can get right now. So I believe we need to take it out.
Is that a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Gray, here, second. Second by Supervisor Hutchins, any discussion?
Yeah, the discussion was, Scott, do you have any idea how long that agreement's been out of effect on the softball fields and whatever?
Oh, probably since we,
Because I know for the last 7 or 8 years, the parents have been keeping that field up,
since the
of the children that are playing out there.
Since the reorganized, probably.
Okay. All right, that's all I wanted to know. Call for a vote.
All in favor?
Uh,
All opposed? Ayes have it. Need a motion to approve the amendment or discussion? I need, are you done now?
Yeah, you need to approve the
We
amended
need to
minutes.
approve the amended minutes, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Hutchins, second by Supervisor Wilson, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Need a motion to approve the dockets. Everyone looked at the dockets.
So,
Motion by Supervisor Hutchins, can I get a second? Second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion?
Mr. President, I'm sorry I'm making this, King, but, I just got two things I need to get clarification on. If you say it's good, you handle the money, it's good with me, cause I'm not familiar with that. And, okay. What about that one? I don't want to a lot of money.
You done?
She looking it up.
Right.
That's mine.
And
Yeah, code red, yeah, the reach.
Okay.
Not secure.
Alright.
Is that all? It is. All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. Next on the agenda is approve the monthly financial report for Adams County Sheriff's Office and Chancery Clerk. Ms. Page, y'all have all that? All in favor? Or, excuse me, I need a motion. Motion by Supervisor Wilson, second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. City government business, if any.
Morgantown. The Morgantown, staff, you wanna bring it up on Morgantown, about the city, James Johnson, that email?
Yeah, I got an email from James Johnson who said that the Morgantown Road was gonna be through the LSBP fund and wanted to know if the county wanted to administer that through the Department of Transportation or if they wanted him to do it because he's administered those grants before.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna have Angie do it.
Let me ask a question. Did you get the training? Did either one of y'all get the training?
We went to the training.
Okay, then, we got people already been to the training. I guess we can do that.
So,
Local public agency training,
Yeah,
that's one we went to, I went to it too.
yeah.
So, I think we gonna. Is that the one where, they talking about the 2.4 million?
That's correct.
Oh, no, we got that.
all right, so Attorney Slover will get back with them to let them know that we're gonna.
Do a motion if you want to.
Can I get a motion?
Who's
So
the-
moved.
Motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion?
Who's gonna be is it the Robbie was the designee training or Angie?
Both of them.
And my staff and me,
All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. Any more city government business? All right, we'll go to departmental reports. Y'all want to read that?
Yeah.
Southwest Planning, y'all.
Yeah, I actually, I told you it's on both here, so it's about the grants and what's available,
Okay.
and the DRA grants and stuff like that, last meeting. That's supposed to be this year.
Good morning.
Good
morning. Specifically, you want to know about the federal program?
Yes.
Okay, EDA, Economic Development Administration, has money available. Now, we apply for the money on behalf of the city or county. That money does not rest in our office, so we don't have that money. But on any project that you do have that involves job creation, we can work with you on it. The last project we had under EDA was, oh gosh, it goes back probably to the expansion of the port with the new crane facility. CCA was the last project that DRA was involved in that project. The county funds were not. That was a $5 million project. That was the last big job creator that we had in this area. What we do is we ask that the engineer and the planners and the people involved in what's going on in the county let us know what projects they have. Because it starts with a local project and local input, because all these grants require match. And so we ask you to come forward and talk to us about those. But yes, money has always been available in EDA. DRA, I met with the new federal co-chairperson at the NFPDG conference. She's from right across the river here. She's come to speak with us and talk about the project she would like to see in this area. Now, from that point, she's going to tell us some things that she thinks can be done, because she's seen some activity here in this county, and she wants to be a participant with that. But the same with DRA, it's job related, job creation related. The CDBG money, you're aware of that, that's for community services, that's for roads, that's for buildings, that's for water, sewer, and the county as a whole, I don't think is eligible for that because of the low income requirements, but there are areas of the county that are eligible. We received, as you know, some additional funds for programs for senior citizens. That's when I came back to the county and you actually permitted local funds, match funds, so that we could access those additional federal funds. And we appreciate that. And more importantly, people appreciate that. I was in Jackson on Friday, meeting with DHS. They had worked out an allocation formula, if you will, for distribution of aging funds across the state. It was incorrect. I informed them that it was incorrect because I've been doing it for 36 years. They just started. And so I told them we need to go back to the drawing board, because what they had in plan was to reduce funding to our area for $141,000. That's not acceptable. So not only did they not get additional funds, they're cutting funds. I said, did you not get any money under the rescue plan? No. I said, did you not get any money from the state? No. So we're actually going back. Of course, pandemic money's over for us. We're going back to a lower level than what we were before. How it got to that point, I don't know. But we don't have any large pot of money. We're going to do something. I'm meeting Tuesday with the rest of the PDD directors of the state, and we're going to come up with an alternative to handle that. Of course, we've got housing programs that Lynette is mainly involved in, but Adam does too, and I think those have been discussed with you. But we don't have, as some have thought, money coming to our office, lump sum money, like the state and county and city. We don't have any of that. Every program we have is an expansion, but under existing guidelines.
And y'all have the wildlife and fishery grant too, right?
I'm sorry?
The wildlife and fishery
Yes.
grant.
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes, I don't know who, I know we get a copy of this, I think the county administrator get copies of these kind of grants and everything. But, I guess we just need to know exactly, like the housing grant, I know it's just closing, right?
No, the housing grant is currently open,
Currently open right now.
and
Okay.
you can't reapply till we close.
That's right, okay. So we just need, I need to, I guess, stay abreast of when all these grants and the deadline for them.
Right.
So we can make sure that we apply for all these grants that, because we do have projects that we can apply for these grants. And I know I talked about the water and sewage, and also at the conference, they talked about the water and sewage grants too. And I think Alan Lair, I gave him a copy of the project that I was talking about last week about the water sewage for those residents on Deerfield. I gave a copy to Alan there, and I'm trying to find a way that we can get them qualified for a grant or something like that. I told him to look into that. So hopefully something can be done about that.
But we would like to encourage all supervisors to create a plan and a project list for us so that we can research and find some, the resources for you all.
Right.
One of our largest programs is the Medicaid Waiver, elderly and disabled program. And you would think that under the money coming out, that the elderly would be addressed also. As I said earlier, not only was it not addressed in DHS, but the Division of Medicaid has not given us any additional funding. We have served 1,900 clients in Southwest Mississippi since the beginning. They have not expanded that number. We've asked for additional slots. They have not provided that money to anywhere in the state. Now, that money, of course, has to be matched by the state also. But for whatever reason, that program is pretty well stagnant at this point. Good program, excellent program. And we have a lot of people working in it, nurses and licensed social workers. But that is not expected. Let me emphasize one program that I think is not getting the attention it should. I just met with someone last Thursday, on a project at the mall, and we meet with individuals and we make laws. But I would like for the county to be making their constituents aware that we have a sizable amount of money, and it is located in our office. It was provided by the state many years ago, but it's for the purpose of expanding or creating new businesses. And it's a long program. And we've done that recently. We've had some success in that. But we think we need more. We think
Is that the SBA?
No, it's not
Which one
SBA.
is that?
It's a minority business enterprise program. It's a Mississippi business program, and it's a micro minority program. But, and we also have a USDA program. We have money available. It is in our hands, and we can use that. But we got to have a legitimate business being someone with a legitimate business plan. And then we would be happy to work with them in getting that started. We've had several businesses in this area started. We don't, most of the things we do, we don't, go out and talk about it. We like to work behind the scenes because these projects are county projects or city projects, not PDD projects. And I don't think you'll ever see us with the foot on the shovel, groundbreaking.
Right.
And because we don't do that. I had somebody ask me the other day, why don't we see, things that you're doing in the paper? Because I said, we're not in the paper. We don't do that. That's for the county to receive the accolades or for the city. We're just the workers behind the scenes, the way it should be. But we do appreciate your support. You've given it to me for 36 years. First office we had was donated by Adams County. We didn't have any money, didn't have any employees. But now we own the buildings. We appreciate your help, and you've allowed us to hopefully grow, not only grow, but to grow in service to the area. And look forward to doing whatever we can to assist the people.
Well, thank you all for everything too.
I got a question. Conference I just left, Congressman Thompson and Secretary of State Marsha Fudge was there, and y'all is 100% right, where they got so much money out there, and people expect the PDD to figure out where the money needs to go, but it's our responsibility to find whatever we need, and y'all find whatever y'all can find to match what we need. So we got to do our part. But I noticed this book Shelby County created, and it got all the services in it that they provide, from the senior citizens to county government to city government. It's a one-stop shop, and I was gonna figure out if any kind of way that between the city and the county and the PDD, could we create something where, people know where everything is? Because we got a lot of stuff going on and a lot of people don't know. So, I'm gonna bet y'all have this.
Okay.
And if it might be something y'all could do, it might be something y'all can't do. But if you can, it'll help Allen County.
We can certainly work on it. We have a, a brochure now of the services offered by the PDD, but.
Yeah, it's small, it's a good one too.
Yeah.
Y'all got a small one, it's a
Right.
good one.
But a comprehensive listing for the county, I don't think it one exists, but with the city and with the, any other service agency, we could work on getting that together. We do get a lot of calls from people who are just searching for answers, and we do refer them to the places that may do what we don't do, but it's a lot of people out there with a lot of needs. And it seems to be, unfortunately, of course, our population is getting older and their needs are growing, but the money is not. And it's going to be a dilemma at some point. But when the pandemic money that we provided was for meals, well, we all knew that those meals were going to end. And we told the people receiving, this is not going to last forever. But that's easy to say, it's hard to say, but it's a lot harder to actually say, we're sorry. The meal you've been receiving won't be available anymore, but that's the reality of where we are. That's why we didn't hire anybody with, additional any funding that we had, because we couldn't continue people on payroll after the money ended. So it was a good thing when it started, it's a bad thing when it ends.
This is Pete, before you leave, man, I don't think, if y'all work with everybody, I want y'all to fund this. I think with this, all this money we got between the city and the county, we could put a brochure together and we could fund this, not y'all. I ain't need y'all.
Okay. I appreciate that.
I know your funds are limited, I don't want to put no extra pressure.
Appreciate it. Any other questions or comments or things that you want us to do that we're not doing, or things that we're doing that you don't want us to do? If not, I will thank you once again, and I appreciate your support.
Thank you.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank y'all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Taki Martin. I'm your newly appointed purchase clerk for the Adams County Board of Supervisors. I only have a few things to bring before the board this morning. The first one I would like to spread across the minutes is the recommendation of the board to proceed with the purchase of the 5 vehicles for the Adams County Sheriff's Office.
So that was a discussion and everything that we've
And
already.
I talked to Court Fair about it, and she said these are the 5 that we give,
Years before. But, what are the 5? Call those 5 out. I know we brought up 5.
the large trucks.
It was really 6, I think they took the van off.
Yes.
Yeah.
The van came on.
Right, that is not on.
Right.
We used to do 4, but I think they the Southwest planning. Did they even try going through them to try to get some of them vehicles, but you know, that conference, remember? They were saying that we should really be trying to get back and get some funding vehicles, because it's a grant that allowed vehicles to be funded too.
There's a USDA loan, but we can't do that until our audit gets caught.
Okay, all right, it's not covered. Okay, all right.
But I do need to add that, the vehicles, when we get vehicles, it's expected, the vehicles, but it is expected too for us to get rid of old vehicles.
So there are some coming
vehicles,
on?
but we're not,
Getting
we
rid of.
have expected revenue for the sale of the old vehicles. So we just load the vehicles that's covered with insurance.
Are these all on state contract?
These are, we check, for instance, in our check out.
Shane.
Or she got.
Yes, ma'am.
President, Shane,
Yes.
is any vehicles coming on?
They're being stripped out right now. There's probably 4, and they're old Tahoes. I would not expect a great deal. We're talking like hundreds of dollars, not thousands. These are old Tahoes with 200 plus, may have even been wrecked or motors blown up in them. The other ones we still haven't serviced. We still have cars on the road with 180,000 miles on them. And that's the issue that we're having. Even with these 5 new vehicles, there's only gonna be 1 that comes off the road. The other, we try to keep 2 as spares for whenever cars go into the shop, and still have older cars on the road. With the 5 vehicles, like I said, there's only gonna be 1, maybe 2 coming off the road to be sold. But we have about 4 to be sold, but it's not gonna be a great, it's not gonna even pay for 1 vehicle.
But we haven't had any removed. I guess the norm is to get 5 and get rid of 5. You know, but we're still adding, we still got all these vehicles. And I know we got more vehicles than we have,
Deputies?
right. Because I looked at the enterprise maintenance and I saw where names were assigned more than to 1 vehicle. So it's an expense, because as long as we got the vehicles, we got to cover those vehicles with insurance. So they're not going with, regardless if it's $2 or $100 or $1,000, is budgeted in our revenue to receive some funds and to eliminate some expenses for the insurances for all these vehicles. Our insurance is skyrocketing because we're not removing the vehicles.
Some of the big, and I'll get with Corporal Moore, he's the one that's over, to be happy to sit down with Ms. King. But like the SRT, the armored truck, it's gonna be assigned to, because the way that spreadsheet's set up, you have to assign it to a person. So that'll be assigned to a person. The Ray-Ban will be assigned to a person. The spare vehicles will be assigned to a person. We have a transport van and a transport expedition that's going to be assigned to multiple people. So there are vehicles that are assigned, that are either pool cars or multi-purpose vehicles that aren't on the road every day that will be assigned to additional people. But
Just
again,
need to go.
sure, and let me know, and we'll come up.
We'll get together.
We had a
Okay.
good conversation the other
We
day.
did.
Come and sit down with you, I'll be happy to bring that up and we can go through it. And I can get with Robbie, and I know they have been stripping the vehicles out to get ready to be sold. So, you know, hopefully next 30 days that can happen.
This is what I'm getting out of this. Just say we got 60 vehicles and we purchased 7 vehicles, and still 7 vehicles coming off and 7 vehicles going on, 2 vehicles coming off, and we getting 7. Now we got to provide additional insurance for 5 extra vehicles. That's what she talking about.
I understand, but during the course of the year, we may have wrecked 2 vehicles that were totaled and didn't come off, or that came off. Or an engine may have blown up on an old vehicle, and so now it's just sitting down at the barn. So that's, and again, we can sit down and purge the list and go through it. We don't have a whole bunch of extra stuff just sitting around not being used on insurance, or if there is, we can darn sure purge that list and get them off of there.
We need to purge that list and get them off, because if they're blown and stuff like this, no need of them being on the list and we paying insurance for a vehicle sitting out at the barn.
I agree.
So we need,
I agree.
that needs to be done.
I'll come get with you
Okay.
this week.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You heard the request, Ms. Martin.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Hutchins, second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Next thing I would like to spread across the minutes. I was made aware that it was voted and approved for the NOLA cameras. We have received the sole source letter from Project NOLA for them to become the sole source of those cameras.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Gaines, second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion?
Just get the letter, whatever it is.
This thing's already passed.
Page
I
details.
emailed it to you.
All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Are there any other questions?
Just like to say welcome to the team. We're
Thank
glad
you.
to have you. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Good morning, board.
Good morning.
I'm requesting to next month, June 6th through 10th, to attend the Mississippi Gospel Association in Gulfport, Mississippi.
So
Have all, they got all the paperwork up here?
I usually give it to Corvette. She's not here, so I guess I need to give it to Ms. Keenan.
Yeah,
is that what
somebody
you
need
got
to.
there?
Yeah. Mm.
Bring that up to the police, sir.
Yeah, that's the only thing to be added to it. And you like give that to Corvette.
Is the convention that both of y'all go to?
Right.
The one for Mr. Freeman's in the folder here.
Okay, so his is on there as well.
Yeah.
And the money's already there.
You heard the request, Mr. Jones?
So moved.
Got a motion by Supervisor Hutchins, second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Next.
Y'all got some? Y'all go ladies first, come on. You want regular position?
Good morning. I'm here to present the monthly calls for service for the month of April. The sheriff's department had a total of 837 calls. The police department had a total of 1,365 calls, and the fire department had a total of 36.
Thank you.
Good morning, board, everybody, sound my voice. Got a couple things, first, we got the state mutual aid compact, from the MEMA. What this is a mutual aid form that mostly every county, we enter in agreement with each other in the event of emergency. We can help one another out. This is something we've been doing, ever since I've been here, so, we need a request to go ahead and enter it and move forward, president and the attorney need to sign. You should have it up there in the folder, state mutual aid compact.
You heard the request, Mr.
So moved.
The motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, next thing I want to ask the board, excuse me. We've been trying to we want to get permission to go and put an ice maker in the safe room. We haven't had one that we've been trying to transfer ice. I had to go buy ice. So we're asking, the board to approve us to go and get us an ice maker to put inside the safe room.
What kind of ice you buy?
No ice like we, oh, the
Bag ice or just
Oh,
regular?
yeah, right, yeah, it's bag ice.
You know they got ice right down there with Jack.
Well, we don't have a key, so when he's out at night, something like that, we not gonna, so it'll be beneficial if we have our own in there, we can sustain it, and have to go back trying to go to Robbie or go and buy ice with that, so.
Have you got a cost and everything on
I think
there?
the one we're looking at was like $3,800. Huh?
Is that in your budget?
It's, now, the safe room don't belong to me, that's board of supervisors. That's what I'm coming in. So I'll put it on y'all, for the record, it don't belong to the EMA, it belongs to the board of supervisors, so if the board of supervisors want ice maker, that's what I'm asking.
I mean, if it's a need, I mean, I'm not involved with it. And you feel that it's a need, so moved.
Motion by Supervisor Hutchins,
I know Andrew and that, we got money, Andrew.
second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, next I want to do a request for travel, the Mississippi Civil Defense Emergency Management Agency. Our business meeting will be held May 25th to the 26th up in Philadelphia, Mississippi. And I'm requesting travel for Darryl Smith, Scotty Irving, Sam Minor, Bree Cooks, and myself to attend that meeting.
You heard the request, Mr. Bradford.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Hutchins, second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
That's all I have, board, pending any questions.
Thank you, Brian. Brad.
Morning, board.
Good morning.
First thing I have is, like for the board to do a resolution for, Mr. Stanley Gaines, retired last Thursday. I'd like to get the board to do a resolution for him, please.
Motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Hook.
No, man, good.
Who said it? Supervisor Hutchins, any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Next thing I have, the illegal dump sites, I have 3 dump sites on Bell Road. Mr. Middleton has those up there, and I have,
What road?
Bell Road, yes, ma'am.
You heard the request, Mr. Dollar. Motion by Supervisor Gaines, second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Didn't have a call about a Menace Properties at 5 Grafton Circle. I don't know if the supervisors had to call what on that, but
What is it?
5 Grafton Circle. It's, the yard's not too bad, but the house and stuff around it is pretty bad. You got the pictures up there, Mr. Middleton? You don't have any on, okay, you do on Bell Road, is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, they do, that's somewhere. Up there.
Okay.
You got the one on 5 Grafton,
Yes, sir.
you show that to the 5 grade, please.
It's Gerald.
Yes.
You know what you want me to say? Yeah.
Okay, I just, I need to do that for Scott to give us an order to, put the sign.
Yeah, it looks like somebody just clean up somewhere and just found them a spot to just dump it in.
Dump it, yes, sir, so. Okay, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Got a motion by Supervisor Gray, can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Supervisor Wilson, any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Thing I have, Supervisor Gaines is, McGee Road, I have to make a decision.
We all.
It was brought up again this morning.
Probably abandon it, but they're gonna be using it. Yeah, I think we gotta make a decision on it. Yeah, we gotta make a decision. You gotta make a motion.
No, abandon it.
Mm-hmm.
What road that is?
On the V.
McGee Road, we had it funded for a bridge.
That is funny, and we had, dispersed, earlier this year, we moved the fund to look at it, I think it was earlier this year. So I think, cause it was the property owner that owned pretty much the whole road over there, and the people was coming through, remember, put the gates on, we discussed that earlier in the year, we talked about it. And, that's the one I discussed with him that he would, I had an agreement, he would, on Sunday, that he would keep the gate open for the people to go to church. They had no problem with the people going to church, but the people coming through illegal hunting and stealing stuff over there. So that was the agreement that we made with the landowner. So I'll make that motion to abandon.
A motion by Supervisor Gaines, second by Supervisor Wilson, any discussion?
Yes. With that being said, Supervisor Gaines, the state, which we're doing it now, the state would come back forward to him, but with that giving it back to the landowner and opening it back up, he's gonna take full responsibility for anybody crossing, accessing that bridge or whatever they're doing, once we turn it back over to the county's hands.
You gotta have
I
a
just-
public hearing before you can abandon the road.
Okay, but I just wanna make sure, you know what I'm saying, Scott, of that, because he has done some,
What's that?
I mean, the landowner done some things to the bridge or whatever, and I just wanna make that clear that the county, once it's done, it won't have any responsibility for that bridge if any.
Well, if it's going, once it go back to
I understand.
private, it automatically is, we ain't responsible for nothing. Am I correct, guy?
What's that?
Once it's been transferred back to him, he's totally responsible for it.
Yeah, we won't be a public road anymore, so we wouldn't be able to do anything.
That's what I'm saying, we won't be responsible for anything.
We would just make him aware that he needs to have a really nice insurance policy, liability. Let people on the property.
Okay. What are you with that, Mr. Miller?
So all in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
We finally got a court date, which is May the 3rd at 9 a.m. in the morning on, that IP property for its transformers, switch boxes and things like that. So we'll go to court in the morning at 9 o'clock. Check back Thursday, it's still on, so I will be in court at 9 in the morning, representing the county on that day. Cleo to Hendrick Heights will have the final in the morning at 10 a.m. IMS, contractor, and Mr. Gaines, could you be there on the county? Like I said, I will be in court at 9.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ms. King, Low Water Bridge at Magnolia Bluffs, they say the money for those EWPs are in the state. I spoke with them again this morning. Only reason I'm asking again is because I had a landowner on Low Water Bridge call me this morning and said we're losing more of that road. So if you've already got it signed and sent back or whatever you need to do to get that done, we need to try to move forward with
We just
this.
haven't gotten the money yet.
Ma'am?
Everything has been submitted. We don't have the money yet.
Okay, 'cause I talked to Mike Green this morning, he said it was in this, here and, whatever, he said it's, well, he talked to it like it was lacking on our end,
So the
so
water conservation to a follow-up.
Okay.
I will, but like I said, I know Low Water Bridge is getting
Yeah, it is.
worse, landowner called me this morning.
Yeah, I rode out there, it's
Okay.
right at the, ravine, right at the, road. Take it.
And at, Jim Marlowe Bridge down at the port is having some issues, me and Mr. Middleton looked at it last week. Contacted JKS, waited to get something back. I texted him this morning, to see if someone was showing up for the meeting today. I hadn't got a response back from them. I know we need to do something on those EWPs that's out there, because I've got email that we're not gonna get any more extensions or whatever, so I don't know, what's going on, but I know the contractor's here. He's waiting to get some kind of answer for a start date. This time is running out. But I texted this morning and yeah, he texted back 3 minutes ago, said yes. Grant said he'd be here. So. That's all I have on my report. I can't see that.
Pay rate change.
For who?
Tim Chapter.
Tim, I brought that up the last meeting, that once Mr. Gaines left on the 28th, that Mr. Chapman would,
Right, okay.
okay,
So we've already approved it?
yes, last meeting.
Right, I got a question for you. Spoiled dirt, request. I had, Old Middle Road, this Dar's Magneto. You know, at the end of, Old Middle Road. We took, one load, spoiled dirt, and then, Rebecca was coming and she talked to me, she need another load. I know we had one less than a year ago, do she had to fill another one out?
No, once she's on there, she just called in and
She just called in, okay. But I didn't,
I wrote it down, but I mean, they call the office and put their request in and, spoiled dirt, everybody calls for it, it's drying up and it is raining, every so often, but, we tried to, Lotus Drive to get in on some spoiled dirt requests we had there. It is still soft. I spoke with that woman out there again this morning about some spoiled dirt request on, Liberty Road in. And, he's gonna look, see if we can, you know, like I said, a lot of times we do get some ditches full, but we can't get in on the property to do.
Also, Travis James, we, that was, and I think we had her in about a year, but we hadn't got to it. That's on Sage Field, you know, the houses on top of the hill where we did the bridge at. I think the borderline is our property. You know, where we just did
Pipe.
the pipe at.
Yeah.
You know, the trail house, the brick house, and the trailer's right behind it. You know, it can, our county property was washing right there. And I think we just got around to getting her. Also, I want to look at her also. All right, I'll thank you.
Robert, while you're up there, I want to bring to the board attention while I was in Memphis on it, in the conference, one of the supervisors up there got a text from, I don't know if it's his office or whatever the case may be, but it's dealing with the ERBR funds. And I think, where she got that paper, right?
For what?
ERBR from the program,
Yeah, maybe not. Mr. Ford had something in his report, I believe.
you got something in your report?
Yeah.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Okay.
You good?
That's it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
He brought me back. Mr. Ford did.
Good morning. Yeah, request for travel for Mississippi Firefighter Conference in Vicksburg on June the 4th for Scotty Irwin, Billy Haley Humphreys, Alex Custer, James Young, and Sierra Burton.
You heard the request from Smith? Motion by Supervisor Gaines, second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
All right, in sometime in June, we'll be starting our classes with certification for our volunteers, level 1, for level 1 and level 2. Get them in there, once we get through those, we'll start our certification for drivers, volunteer driver certification also. So we're just trying to get back going, you know, with all our classes, you know, get our guys certified. I think we have like 7 right now that's certified at level 1, so we're gonna get them moved up to level 2, and then the ones that haven't, get them to level 1. So that'll help us out with our rating and all that also. And also just ask for a request to seek a grant for our fire trucks, because our trucks are getting old and we're getting patched up and everything to keep them going. But we have to start looking at getting new trucks. But they are pretty much almost outdated. So if I can, you know, with your approval, go out and look for grants or anything like that, that might come open to see if we can, you know, apply for a fire truck.
Yeah, because that's supposed to be a grant out there. They spoke at a conference that there are grants out there for fire trucks. So you probably need to get with Adam there and Ms. Smith about that.
Okay.
There's supposed to be some out there.
All right, we're still waiting on the award for the grants for the SCBA's also. We haven't heard anything back from that yet. So that's all I have.
You know what? Go ahead, Mr.
Excuse me, why I want to run something from the board. I got a call on yesterday, and as I said, I do a round report. I will ask a request for the board. He's a dedicated volunteer firefighter, Johnny Mayberry, who had the stroke. Some concerned citizens and some of his friends in other community, and they would ask me would I bring before the county board, would the county be willing to let them use the ballpark to do a benefit for him. They're trying to raise money for his family to do that, and they brought it before me. I told them I didn't think it would be a problem, but you know, you do things professionally and in order, bring it before that, because I know Robert and I and Mr. Smith, though he's Mr. Mayberry was a dedicated volunteer volunteer firefighter. Every storm he was out there, he worked really, really hard. And I think that'll be a good gesture. I just want to bring that before to make sure that, I told him to give a Corvette and make sure they don't have any, booking, conflicts in the schedule. And that we would do that. I just want to do
He's doing
it.
better, but he's still lost sight on one side and
Yeah,
all.
and they just trying to help him raise their money, so I just want to make sure and bring it before the board and make sure it's okay for them to use that facility on that day, do a benefit for it.
And also, I mentioned also, Sarah Burton, one that I had a request for, she lost her mom about a week ago in a car accident over around Collins area. And Scotty Irwin, he lost his uncle last week also, so we volunteered, but he's getting hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
So just asking everybody to, keep all our volunteers in prayer. So they, like I said, they do get out there and do what they can to help the county out. So we want everybody to just keep them in prayer. That's all I have. Yeah, I'll make some copies. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
I'll be quick, short and sweet. Good morning, Lord. Morning. So, 368 requests in April, 229 transports. That number is a little bit higher. In fact, 27% increase from the previous month in 911 requests. Total responses in the county in a single month, or total ambulance requests, both private and 911, 1,418 requests. So April was very, very, very busy. Impacted our response time somewhat. Our city average went up to 918 at 86%, and our county average went up to 1425 at 87%. That's all hands on deck, me included. We've been busy. So we're staying in compliance, but it's hitting us pretty good. We had 72 refusals on scene, 14 no patients found. We write those as a false call, but just maybe 14 patients wasn't there. And 18 canceled prior to our arrival. At 17 site calls, we had 244 occurrences where we had more than one unit on the same scene at the same time in the county and the city. Had 3 medical flights from the field. All 3 of those patients were validated as they needed to go to a trauma center. We participated in the REPC meeting, had a special planning meeting with the public safety agencies to kind of coordinate some of these events that are coming up and plan our stuff for that. Provided coverage for the Natchez Bike Classic, which more or less was just a couple of EMTs and a sprint unit because there were just so many routes that you couldn't follow them with a truck. And then we did volunteer firefighter training at our office for free of charge to the county, as we always do. Try to kind of help them with their certification processes as well. 0 crew members out. Our employee of the month was Keith Joyner. He goes through our licensure every year with our employees to make sure they've got all of their continuing ed hours and submits it into National Registry and make sure that whole process stays smooth so that those employees can stay on the truck. And it says something when this is the third year in a row that his peers have nominated him as Employee of the Month. I mean, he's pretty dedicated. We hired 2 new team members, Jerica Watkins and Melissa Screws. Both of them were hired on March 21st. They will start their emergency medical services training on the 5th of May. We pay for that, so they're gonna be able to work. They have benefit, they have retirement, and we're training them in the house to get these certifications. Each certification increases their pay, so we continue to invest in the team. And along those lines, it would go a long ways if we could get this out there. In Adams County, I've got a $10,000 sign-on bonuses for paramedics that are nationally licensed and registered. Now that's huge. So right now, we're paying more money on paramedics per hour than the hospital pays their nurses. So it's a lot of growth potential for people to start out like Ms. Screws and Ms. Watkins at the EMR level and work while they educate, and we pay for their education. And then that's a 6-figure career. So if y'all could help me spread that word, that would be great, because while we're not seeing some of the trouble that they are seeing across the country and in the state for shortages, we are still short. There's still opportunity there for people to be hired. So I'd appreciate y'all helping us get that word out. Do y'all have any questions for me? Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, board.
Morning.
Just a couple of things. I guess we go ahead and get started with the ERBR. Receive notification they're currently accepting application for ERBR project, emergency roads and bridges. So I know that the county has a few closed bridges, and I was trying to see whether there are any bridges in particular the county wants to submit for this application. All applications are due by Sunday at 5 p.m. So we will be working this week to submit for any and all bridges the county would like to submit for. I know one for sure that we want to submit for would be York Road. And in addition to that, would there be any other bridges the board would like to submit for, that you would like folks to submit application for? Right?
No, that's what we went over, this morning. He had, excuse me, listed on his bridge closures, 2 and down at the bottom, which we'd redone both of those, and I don't know why they're not back open. We put a pipe in one, we completely redone the other. Equipment Road, what they call Equipment Road, the approach, we redone the other part 2 years ago. This year we redone the approach on the south side, so it should be back on the open list. So 3 of the 5 he had on there should be open, like I said, York Road and then McGee Road were the other 2 that was on there. So those 3 should be back. So
what we'll do is we'll go and so those still on the list that's closed on the state website. Typically, once repairs are being done, the shipment applications are submitted for reinspection. If they haven't, then we'll do that and see if no application has been submitted for reinspection, we'll prepare one to submit it to see if it can get reinspected.
Mr. President, I got a question for you, Mr. Ford. I was looking at the ERBR Road and Bridge Repair Fund. You did say road and bridge repair fund. So my question is, can you do bridges and roads?
My
Or you
understanding,
just gonna do bridges?
well, my understanding is you can do both, but that fund has been more geared toward bridges. For instance, when we submitted for the raise grant application, they encourage submitting roads because the bridges mostly go, because the state has so many closed bridges. So most approved applications are more geared toward bridges to try to get some of these bridges open throughout the state. So we just try to submit for a road. I'm not sure how successful it'll be, just to be honest with you. Like I said, most of the time bridges have been the approved projects that have been approved. So just because of the amount of closed bridges.
So let me ask you a question. They got over $100 million, and I know there's 82 counties. My question is this: if we do both, would they turn down both, or they approve the bridges and not approve the road, or how do that go?
When you submit, even though the resolution is for all, it's a list of them, you submit each one individually, and they approve each individual project.
So
if you submit a road and a bridge, they won't decline both of them. They will not decline both of them because there's a road in it. So I can submit, it's per project. It's the request per project. Let me just say that.
okay, the reason I'm asking is, everybody knows we short on Morgantown Road. And when I looked over this road and bridge repair fund, it got a list of criteria and key project criteria, condition of bridge, economic impact, traffic volume, volume, school access, and all this kind of stuff. So that made me think, could we submit for the shortfall that we got on Morgantown Road? I'm just asking a question.
There's nothing stopping you from submitting an application for it. If you ask me to submit an application for that, I will submit an application for that along with it.
Well, I'm gonna talk to the board because we gotta make a decision today. Either we gonna have to do that. The next thing, I talked to the county administrator about the youth tax fund. And this year we got $934,000 youth tax fund, and next year we got 1.245. And we probably gonna be more than that. They just estimating we gonna get that amount. Hopefully it'll be more than that. I don't wanna I talked to Supervisor Gaines about this too. Let me get this straight. It just ain't me doing it. I talked to Supervisor Gaines too. And, the thing is, if we can't get it with the ERBR fund, then the use tax fund, we can borrow against that, and we can have $2.1 million to go towards Morgantown Road. So I'm trying to figure out what is the best way, well, we're trying to figure out what is the best way to tackle this monster in the room, because people been stopping by my shop, people been contacting Supervisor Gaines. You got negative word out there. Ain't nothing gonna happen on Morgantown Road and all this kind of stuff. It needs to happen right now. That's when it needs to happen. Either we can borrow this money and make it happen, use the American Rescue money with the shortfall, plus the 2.4 we got from the federal government, but we don't need to be going through this summer, through next year, trying to figure out how we gonna fund Morgantown Road when we got all these funding mechanisms right before us right now. And if this board don't mind, we need to go on and get this project started, where the people can stop wondering if this just a joke like they said it was. They said it's just a pie in the sky, y'all ain't gonna do nothing. Y'all ain't never did nothing, but that ain't true. We lost the funding on Morgantown Road because we had funding and we lost it. So, what do y'all think on this board?
What's the time frame on the ERBR?
They usually approve the application with between 2 to 3 months after application deadline. They're pretty fast on the ERBR.
I think you should do both, pursue your ERBR, and also, because we talked about, I think you talked with Danny, our financial advisor.
Right.
We started putting together a package on using the use tax money to issue a bond. And if you're doing both, that way if the ERBR doesn't come back, and it probably won't, because their emphasis when they evaluate them, they emphasize bridges. Even though roads can be, in this particular case, is as dangerous as a bad bridge, right? It's, it's really, really dangerous. So it's no different than being a bridge or not. They emphasize bridges, so it's a good chance we won't get it. At the same time, if you're going with Navy's suggestion, then you have something in place where you can start construction and so forth, almost immediately. By the time yes or no on ERBR, you then know you can close on the bond if ERBR says no.
So,
That makes sense?
my next question is, does anybody on this board have a problem with that?
Y'all remember the list that he showed out last meeting? It's,
The who showed up?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got that.
Media presented a list
Yeah, I
there.
got that, yeah.
But there'd be other roads that we could get done within that constraint for sure. So you'd have Morgantown Road, and you'd have whatever other projects that you gotta do.
While he was on that, I was gonna do that as part of my report. Lately, when I've been going, like stores, people at the affiliated from the area churches and stuff like that, I've been getting a lot of people saying, I'm disappointed in y'all. I'm disappointed in y'all came back up and y'all done asking for 2.4, you ain't gonna get Morgantown done again. Everybody just leading us on. I said, no man, I had not had anything in fact, we are working on avenues every meeting trying to get it. That's why I don't ever believe in announcing everything until we get it right, because at sometimes when you come back, people only know half of the story. We understood from the start that back then it was 2.4 with inflation and prices going up, it was gonna be more. But everybody for some reason had the perception, oh, they got the money from Morgantown. Not only did a final estimate, I think it's got people shaking. I just wanted to reassure those people that we are definitely trying. We was aware and we looking at avenues to make sure we get Morgantown Road done.
I think we did try to get him on the phone to explain this
Yeah,
bond process.
he wanted to meet with the board.
And like Scott said, you don't need to take a lose to go with both of them. This is gonna take, 120 days for the bond process at least?
At least. And it's not that sounds like something that we can move towards. It's not like this is a deadline, yes or no decision at the moment. Does that sound like a feasible solution for y'all? sounds like a feasible solution to me. If it was me, I would say pursue the ERBR because it doesn't cost anything. Let's just pursue it and see what it says. And then let's pursue item number 2. If you're trying to get a deadline into when these roads are gonna get, fixed, which I think that
After
pretty soon
16
don't have.
years, we need a deadline.
Mr. Ford, you have to do a lot of work to get that prepared.
It'll get done by some.
Okay.
So
We'll go for it.
So on that will be Morgantown Road and York Road Bridge.
Yes.
That's all agreed?
Yeah, we have, like I said, one that was on his closure list, we already have them back open, Pickering Road, the 2 in Allen Bottom, and 1 on Whitman Road. So
And then
those
the
4
York
are back
Road
in service.
rotation.
And I'll be honest with you, York Road from Hutchins to that bridge is atrocious.
Terrible,
I got phone calls 2 weeks ago, one to call News Channel.
terrible.
Oh, I know, it's bad.
So could that be paired with the bridge?
I would recommend doing them separately. Because I said, I wouldn't want
I
the.
mean, I don't want it to affect the bridge though.
Yeah, I wouldn't do the road along with the bridge. Like I said, the most approval has been emphasized on bridges. So I would just submit for that, for the bridge. And then we did portion of York Road and, on the raised grant, so.
Mr. Ray, would you say had to be an interest to a school or something? One of the,
Criteria.
one of the school thing. or-
No,
School
it's
traffic.
School traffic, school traffic.
Yeah, and that's more than that road.
So we need a motion?
Yeah, I need a
So
motion.
moved.
Motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion? All in
Is that for, just to apply to the ERBR for Morgantown?
Can we do the motion for
Just the ERBR.
Morgantown Road and York Road in one, so you can sign that?
Well, we do one for York Road first. Motion for York Road first.
Got a motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed?
That's the bridge,
That's the
right?
bridge.
Okay, make a motion. Oh,
No, I need a motion for Morgantown Road.
motion for, Mr. Ford to submit an application, ERBR grant for Morgantown Road.
Got a motion by Supervisor Gray.
Second.
Got a second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
All right, and the rest of it just updates, as Mr. Dollar said earlier, 26 Cleote is pretty much complete. We just have a final inspection, on tomorrow at 10 a.m. within the RCS County. Of course, the contractor and IMS will be there. Camo did submit a pay application. I did not get a chance to do my typical status report, but I still think it's fair to recommend payment for that second, pay application. It was in the amount of $48,107.80. Like I said, they've done the majority of the work. Only thing that happens tomorrow is just any kind of touch-up or things like that need to be done. We've done our own review of the site. We think it's in good shape. Like I said, we just get maybe some minor comments from NRCS and maybe the county.
So moved. Motion by Supervisor Gray,
Second.
second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
And what I do is, even though I didn't submit it, every supervisor will get a copy of the status report on tomorrow. So this project will have photos and everything.
Thank you, sir.
All right. The strike on the project, state aid currently has the contract and everything. Once we get approval, we have to send some information into them. Once we get approval, we'll be able to move forward with that project as well. And EWP Group 4, the contract is currently getting their contract and bundling in place. Once we get that information, we can set a pre-funding with that project under construction as well. Any other questions from the board for me?
Motion.
If not, as always, I appreciate you all's time.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning. I just have 2 travel requests for approval. I want to see if I get approval for Angela Green to attend the Collective Revenue 1 course. It's a continuing education course that all the clerks go to, just to learn information and stuff like that.
Hold up, so moved.
Second.
Good. Okay, will you have paperwork? Paperwork.
I don't have paper. I was just getting things to bring paperwork. I was bringing paper for the chicks. I was just trying to get approval to travel.
You got it.
Paperwork.
Okay.
You got both of them? The travel, this is
So the
the
other
travel?
one for my conference, my summer conference in July.
Okay. Get all your paperwork first.
Okay,
I mean, if
okay,
you go get it right quick, we can come back and approve it.
okay, all right. I'll do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You gotta sign it. That needs to go. All right, just have a couple things. Trash report, District 1, 46 bags, District 2, 67 bags, District 3, 73 bags, District 4, 45 bags, and District 5, 41 bags. Pick up, Chief.
Always. The winner. Pick it up, look at 70 bags.
And pick up just enough trash. I do.
We have one employee that will go into a change of status with approval. Our evidence technician, she got hired by the state. She's currently in the Game Warden Academy. So we would like to move an existing employee into her position. Kristen Little is currently a CIT working part-time. We're asking if she can move full-time to that position of the evidence tech at the same rate of pay as the evidence tech was. So that position is still the same rate at $15.23 an hour.
I've heard the request, and a motion by Supervisor Hutchins, second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
The second one is Michael Hunt, who is a new employee coming in as a deputy at a pay rate of $16.01 an hour.
Second.
Do I have these?
You should. I've got signed copies if you need.
Who did the motion?
No, he did.
Motion by Supervisor who? Gray, second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Last thing I have is permission to apply for a grant, or it's actually several grants. We're gonna look into applying, see what they have. The Office of Justice Programs, Community-Based Violence Intervention and Prevention Initiative. There's a number of grants. Some of them are matching, some of them are full-funded grants. We'd like permission to see what they have to offer and then bring it back to the board of what's needed.
Motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
And if there's any other questions or topics we need to discuss, we have to answer. And do that.
Shane,
Yes, sir.
I know, Sheriff is not here, but like I said, I went to a conference in Memphis. And, some parts of Memphis is kind of rough. And, I know we have the same problems they have in Memphis, so it's gonna take a teamwork effort of the sheriff and the police chief and everybody working together to try to pull something like this out when we have a big murder or something in the community where I haven't even talked to nobody yet, but I'm gonna put it out there where people are scared to testify, whatever the case may be. And since we have, Scott, you need to listen to this too. Since we have this ARP money for the city and the county, I know Memphis has a fund where they can relocate witnesses to another city or whatever the case may be. And I really believe we need to look at doing something like that, because if a person feels safe and they're gonna be relocated somewhere else to have a life, then when they see something, they might say something.
Yes,
Do that make sense?
yes, sir, it does.
So, Scott, maybe you need to look into, see can we use some of that money to put up to relocate individuals, and I think we need to get with the city, because we gotta find different, avenues to try to, alleviate this crime in this community, especially the ones that getting killed. You know what I'm saying? People see somebody getting killed, they ain't gonna say nothing, but I just think if they feel like they're gonna be relocated and got to a better situation than they have right here, I'm not saying they're gonna talk, but there's a possibility that they may talk.
I think one other group that you need to involve with that is the district attorney's office as well.
Okay.
They would be the one prosecuting the case, and I know they may have some additional funds or access to funds as well as our CIT, which is our basically victim services unit. That we have stuff to put people up in hotels short term, but nothing long term. So
What I'm doing is, and y'all are experts at this, I'm just bringing it to the table, and whatever y'all need to do, or whoever y'all need to do, I'm just need to talk to this man over here to make sure that we can use funds for that. And if the city get on board and we work together as a team and put up some funds for that. But y'all got the plan. You, the police, the district attorney, or whoever the case may be, that ain't me. Only thing I'm trying to do is trying to get the funds from the city and the county or whoever else have funds to be able to relocate somebody where they would feel safe if they see something.
Yes, and Crime Stoppers has been revitalized, and just take, for instance, the Michael Hunt case, which is a city case, that reward is $15,000 right now. The double homicide that we've had, the reward is $10,000. And they can actually remain anonymous if it leads to an arrest and conviction. So we're trying to use that money incentive as well. But absolutely, we're open to anything in that regards to help solve these things.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Brant, did you have something? Yes. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I guess the first thing is with the Group 2 EWPs, I don't know if y'all talked about that before, but I think we had asked to award those maybe a couple of meetings ago. I never did get confirmation on that. Did we award the Group 2 EWPs to Camo? Okay, well, we'll go ahead and work on the contract documents and get them going, and a notice received hopefully later this week on that.
On that group too, I think the contractor got something to say about that, where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, we can discuss it now, or I can get with Brand or get with Scott or whoever, but, I went back and looked at my numbers on the fuel, just my fuel. And my fuel, when it was bid, was just roughly $54,000. Now fuel's doubled. So before I even crank up and start anything, I'm $54,000 in the hole. Then I can't leave $54,000.
Would that be December, right?
Yeah, December 20th.
It'd be about December.
Yes, right before Christmas.
So my question is, not to cut you off, through NRCS, has fuel allowances or whatever prices went up through them since December to today on?
I would have to talk to Norman about the fuel increase and how they treat that, or if it's just an increase in the project.
You know, I'll ask state audit if we can increase price in the middle of a bid or what, I don't know, you know. It takes a long time to get the right of ways on Group 4, I don't have those right of ways. I mean, it's, you know,
I mean, it took 6 months to get some of these right of ways.
it takes forever.
I mean, in a normal situation, it wouldn't be an issue, but, I mean, material costs are going up daily, diesel's $5 a gallon. I mean, I ain't, you know, I ain't in the business to lose money. None of y'all, any businessman is that way, but I just can't, I can't eat that, or just no way.
My worry in the whole thing is we fit one out of time.
That's a big concern right there.
Well, we're gonna be able to get a quick answer to the questions we have about that.
I mean, what is the
No,
timeline?
I don't know.
Where, I mean, what's,
So this contract has 100, the group 2 has 100 days in it.
and that's from,
That would be from the notice to proceed.
I understand, but it's a deadline on all these groups though, that NRCS sent us.
For this one is May 28th, and I've put in for a time extension with Norman for that, or I think 120 days. So he's processing that right now.
They said whether you're giving them more attention.
Way I understood, we were about at it, we've been applying for about 30 of them through this whole deal, and this Wesley Curtis who's sending me the emails, it's not normal. And I guess that's normal involved.
So why are we continuing to need extensions?
Well, that's one thing, the slow dismissal, it takes a while on, it's not that, it's not all, but like he said on his,
Yeah, from December until now. I mean, I got what was that? The last one. Cemetery Road, is that it?
That's the one in May.
April 13th was when we got that.
The one in May.
so that's.
April
what takes
13th,
long.
that's when they finally signed.
Part of it is getting people assigned to do one, and then like I said, once we don't, like this one's been.
And I discussed with Norman about the time extensions and everything, and I mean, he said we were sitting pretty good with the time extensions there. He said I can't promise anything, but they'll, since this is ready to go, he's got other counties or other EWPs that have put in more extensions and more time, and they don't even have plans on it, but since this is ready to go, he said it shouldn't be a problem.
And you know, I understand that, I'm not saying, I'm just saying, what the first sent me, we're on the third one, and we hadn't even started. So, I guess what I'm saying is, that's probably what he's looking at, I'll give it, and now well, like you said, and I hope we're gonna get it, because these projects need to be done, some of them are affected the county roads, and, you know, some of them's on the private property areas, but still in all, they all been submitted, they all been accepted, and we need to move forward with them, so.
You probably got about 15 of them on Group 4. That's what I can get to. You got Cleota Heights. But the rest of them, I mean, just,
Scott, you got any in District 4? Cause if you do, man, I told you, you got any in District 4, I know I can reach out to them.
I'll send all y'all out. Here they
Now,
are.
what do you say?
That's on Group 4, right?
I didn't have so far. Well, I say not, there's some of them that got on Group 4, but you hadn't got all of them, is that correct, Scott? You got some of them on 4, but you hadn't got them on.
I've gotten Cleota Heights. That's the only one I've gotten.
You got one out of Group.
That's not everybody sells.
Have you sent them out to us? Have you,
I got them compiled, I got the 10, what's it called, legal opinions out. I'll sit down and send them all out.
yeah, cause that's the probably the only way you're gonna get them done is some for us and those three reach out too. See what we need to reach out to, or
Yes.
who we need to reach out to.
Not easy getting them.
So I guess
That's
at Group 2, we got all those, and
Yes,
that's ready.
It's ready to
All the
go.
confidence we have now is
Is
the fuel adjustment,
that and
whatever.
the time on that, but I mean, I would say go ahead.
And you gonna-
Norman said go
You
ahead.
gonna reach out today to Norman?
I mean, I
Find
talked to them
out.
all last week about
I'm saying,
that.
today, I mean, we need to know About the
About
field
the-
adjustment,
yes,
if
the
it
field
is or not, then he's gotta make a decision, and if you award it, he starts, then, or
I mean,
you
the
award it.
state, they have fuel adjustments in their items and everything there, and I'm hoping that would be the easiest thing there, but I'll have to check with Norman just to clarify where we go with that, with the fuel adjustment.
And like you said, on extensions, you're gonna leave them on 3, and I know, IMS has already put in for Group 4's extension on theirs. I don't know if they got an answer, but.
There's, they put in for time extension on that, and we're good with Group 3 because of their time extension. South Palestine Road is within this time extension that I put in for. That's the only one in Group 4 that's under this group. There's a bunch of different contracts out there, but we're working on getting the time extended.
But if we don't have the right of way for Group 4, it's gonna be the same issue with Group 4. Fuel prices getting worse.
For time extension, but yeah, fuel, I mean, I guess if fuel allowance adjustments or whatever, I guess you really need to reach out today and see.
Yeah, I mean, I'll call, when I get out of here, I'll try to call.
When they've had to come back to them on this,
Yes.
if everybody else is taking it home, you know, other counties. So you think you could have something today, maybe?
Yeah, whenever I talk to Norman.
Mike, how long would it take you to do Group 4?
Group 2, it won't take long. Won't take long at all. I got people sitting around waiting to go to work. And that's what I'm saying. I got 2 jobs and I can't even work on them. But I can't.
I mean, time frame.
2.5, 3 months I'll be done. We're coming into the dry season, so it won't take long.
Within that 100-day period of working, you'll have it done.
I'll be pretty dang close.
That's what
I'm not gonna set on and
No,
wait and put on my finger, cause like I said, I gotta put people to work.
if we get the extension and get the fuel adjustment, you're ready to go.
I'm ready. If y'all say go, I'll be moving tomorrow.
I guess we covered, I mean, that conversation kind of covers Group 3 too, but we're waiting on a.
Brad, how quick do you think we can get an answer from Norman?
If I can get him on the phone, he can tell me. I mean, I should be able to get him on the phone within 2 or 3 hours. I mean, he may answer when I call him, but it depends on his schedule.
Okay.
So,
Brent, I just want to ask you, what's the progress? Are they back working on State Park Road?
They are.
I know they had ran into a little dilemma.
They are, and then I've got, and that was my next, bring that up. We've got, power poles need to be relocated on State Park Road. I assume that they don't have a private easement for the power poles, they're within the right of way. But the Southwest Electric is wanting to charge $15,000 to $20,000 to move these power poles.
They told you that?
They
Because
did.
the contractor told me that they were gonna waive the fee and do it. That was last week.
That we got, I mean, that's what we're going under. That was the last word we got from Southwest, that they wanted $15,000 to $20,000.
That was when?
The middle of last week.
$15 to $20?
Yes.
Well, go ahead with your report on that.
I mean, that's all I have for State Park, but they are working on, draining side drains and they're getting ready to put gravel on the road, the base.
But that's all I had on State Park Road. If you have any other questions.
I just wonder what the progress was, you know.
They were working on some side drains and getting their ditches right,
Hey, man.
put in some cross drains, and they're prepping to get the road bed set up.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure we're there because, you know, I got called, but again, week and a half or so ago, it was almost at a standstill. And they said there was gonna have to be more pipe ordered or something like that, and I was gonna put them where they couldn't work. And, you know, he was thinking about if he couldn't work, you know, he had to move out and stuff like that. And I told him I would get with, you know, the engineers, try to make sure y'all can stay on the same plan. Ease this thing on too.
Yeah, we're working on getting the gravel, approved, and I think they're gonna start working on that at that point. I don't know about getting pipe in and everything, but I know right now they're putting pipe in and doing the ditching.
Okay.
Let's see the contract on top of that. He's reaching out to staff. Last week they told me that.
Oh, that'd be great. I mean, and you know, that's what I assume they don't have an easement because they hadn't said anything about having an easement outside the right of way. So, I mean, they'll have to be permitted inside the right of way. But that's all I have for right now.
You were saying that.
But if they won't pay it or whatever, I mean, we gotta get them moved, right, to the project?
Yeah,
That's
you gotta
really
do it.
move forward with it. I mean, but he said that's right now trying to answer to me.
It's just
What the,
check to see if they'll waive it, if they won't.
what the Southwest had told me.
We gotta move forward.
So. And you said Hayden's checking on the Jim Marlowe Bridge.
Yes, we got all that. I mean, from what I've seen, the bridge doesn't seem to have moved when they put it in. It moved there, but since, I mean, we've monitored it for 2.5 years.
Have they checked it the last 2 weeks since we brought it up?
Yes, they went and shot it in week before last. And that's the information we've got.
But it's still the same.
But Hayden was going through that and he was gonna call, I think you and Wes, and see if he can meet y'all down on the bridge.
Here's where they're at. They're working on State Park Road. The Southwest was supposed to waive their $15,000
Well, Southwest told me
fee.
call 15 to 20, but the contractor told me when they talked to Southwest that they were gonna probably waive the fee. So I called the contractor, get him to reach out to Southwest and call me while the meeting's going on, and I'll probably answer if they are or not.
So if they're not, we still need to cover
15, 20,000.
$15,000 to $20,000. Can we find that
Or whatever.
in the road department budget until we can get it amended? I don't want this to delay.
Yeah, we don't want to delay it.
Of the poles?
You're gonna have to do it. If we-
Let me ask you
I
this
mean,
question.
it should be done.
President Miller, let me ask you this question. Robbie, you remember on, over here on Franklin, down there where we did it by your office, and we had to remove a pole? Did they give us, did they waive something, or they gave us some?
Entry did, we put
Yeah,
on
in the
Southwest
waiver.
here, it's not one pole, it's 3. It's got to be moved out here. And like I said, the contractor told me last week that Southwest told they were gonna waive it.
They usually do. I mean, they'll try to work it
So
out with you,
I'm
but if
waiting to
not,
see, you know, because
Yeah,
I don't want project to halt until the next board meeting. If we need to go ahead and move it, we need to go ahead and move it.
right.
supposed to say, I hope we got an answer before y'all get through the
Yeah,
job.
that's what I'm saying, he just called him, right? Did he
Yeah, I
just
just
call
called
him?
him.
Yeah, see if we can have an answer before the board meeting, if not, then we need to do it. I just hate to approve something and then they waive it.
Yeah,
Well, no, not for
It's
contingency basis. I'm saying,
pending, it's always gonna be pending.
I'm saying if it's not approved, like if they won't waive it, you find it in his budget and then have it amended at the next meeting. I don't want progress to be stopping on this construction project.
but we can do that when Wes's report gets there, the last
I
thing.
understand that, yeah.
See if he called, okay. But on Marlowe Bridge, it has not moved in the last 2 years that y'all can see.
Yeah, so, but the Hayden wants to get with y'all and go through that. He was looking at all the data that we had, and so he still wants to get with y'all to.
And we wait on one more cost estimate on the liners on Robbins Lake.
Yes.
When should we have that answer?
Hopefully anytime. I mean, he told me that, he originally told me it was gonna be a couple of weeks and he emailed me, last week and said they should have it in a couple of days, which hopefully that's the day.
But even getting cost estimates, are the state good with the liner?
Yes, I think Hayden has talked to MDEQ.
They've got to submit the
They said
proposal to
they will.
MDQ, and they've got to go back and approve it. And Hayden told me on Friday that he was waiting on the cost so that he could make a presentment to MDEQ. That's what he was waiting on. So they have
I
not.
guess that was my question. I mean, we jump around, get a bunch of quotes and wait time, and then we don't know if they're gonna approve it anyhow, but you're saying.
I'm saying that, I don't know whether they'll approve it or
Yeah.
not. They didn't give me any indication that they would approve it. So if he can get it out by the end of the week, they'll probably approve it real fast, like make a decision, I should say, real fast.
Okay.
Alright.
Now, there's a lot of positive about doing it that way. I mean, we all feel like the better pipe got into the group or whatever, at least our road contractor and everybody else, so, and it's not inundated over water, so hopefully they will.
Can I ask a question so we can move on? The poles need to be moved? They just figured it out?
They got to be moved.
They didn't know that when the project started that it had to be moved?
Well, they were hoping that they could work around them, but there's no,
I think the design got changed from a 2-to-1 to a 3-to-1 slope.
3-to-1, yeah.
Okay.
Just,
All right, you never say no more.
Alright. Brant, how are you?
That's all.
That's all. Thank you. Alright, thank y'all. Any more departmental reports?
You got,
You got any
Chandler.
public comment?
Chandler.
Oh, Shannon.
This gentleman's going.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Chandler.
Yeah, he ain't got it. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe all mine is for the executive session. There's a option agreement that we discussed, and then also some updates on several of our clients, and I think that's it. So,
Come to the table, Supervisor Gray.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Like I said, I went to the conference in Memphis and got some valuable information. And Secretary Marshall Fudge of U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development was a speaker, and he gave us some good information. And I don't know why this even came up about property, but I'm gonna pass this along, whoever I need to pass it on to, Property Fraud Alert Program. And you know, you got people all over this world stealing people's property, and I think in Memphis they got something where when somebody inquire about your property, you automatically get a text, because a lot of people get these properties and can't get a deed to them, and then you got tall grass and weeds and everything else, and don't nobody want to be held accountable for keeping the property up. So, and I know a lot of properties change hands. I don't know if it's legal or illegal, but I'm gonna pass this information on. I'm gonna touch on something that I wasn't gonna touch on, but I need to touch on because I got a call from the National Democrat telling me while I was in Memphis that Hayden Collins said I need to apologize to him for something I said in a board meeting, and I don't mean no harm. And I try to be as open and honest and fair that I can be. When we go to conference, when we go to Washington D.C. to lobby for projects, I don't make these numbers up myself. I take what they give me. Supervisor and whoever else goes, we don't come up with numbers. When they give us a number, that's what we go lobby for. If the number wrong, then it ain't on me, and it ain't on her. Because we don't do the numbers. We just ask for the numbers and people give us the numbers. Now Morgantown started off with a 1 point what? Then it went from 1.2 to 1.7, then 2.4 to 3 point whatever. By then, we already lobbied. So when you give me documents to go lobby for 2.4 if the project can change to 3.2, then somebody needs to communicate with somebody and let them know, because that ain't on me, and I don't owe nobody no apology, because I ain't do nothing wrong. But I'm gonna tell you what, when he say he changed the project 3 or 4 times, he did. It changed 3 or 4 times, because the first time he did it, they did it wrong. They had a whole council of people just all up in here. They had markers in people's living rooms. You know that, Robert? Them people was raising all kind of saying about, man, they coming all up in my living room because they added 3 lanes out there on Morgantown Road. Anybody with common sense know that place cannot hold 3 lanes without taking all the people property. So yeah, you had to change the engineering to 2 lanes. That ain't my fault. But let me say this. I think since I've been on this board, I've been as fair as I could be to everybody that come before this board. And I'm not gonna speak for the board, but I don't think we did nothing wrong to try to hurt nobody. Even though when we went with another engineering firm, we allowed them to continue to work everything they had. We ain't trying to take nothing from nobody. We did what we thought was right. And I'm finna say it because nobody else wanna say it. Every contractor come up in here, complain about them, about the designs wrong, this wrong. We got to go back over and do it over again. Robin Lakes to everywhere we go, we got to go back and do it again. That ain't my fault. So if anybody owes somebody an apology, he owes the citizens of Adams County an apology, because we got to keep funding something he should have got right the first time. And I'm gonna say this to the National Democrat. Y'all might get mad at me, but if you're not gonna print what I say, do not call my phone. You asked me what I had to say, and I told you in my 6 years that I've been here, that man been to 7 or 8 meetings in 6 years. So I'm not the type of person to discuss nothing through the newspaper. I got a phone number, if he wanna call me, he can call me. I ain't got no problem with that, but I'm not gonna discuss nothing in the newspaper, because if he was man enough, when all this hit the fan, he would have had a meeting with this board and discussed everything with this board. But have he did that? No. Well, if he did, I wouldn't have to meet. So I'm sorry, but I don't like to put my name in the newspaper and don't say what I had to say. If he was a man, he'll be here today. We got all these problems. Where he at? He ain't here. I'm not mad at you, because I know this way bigger than you. Don't get me wrong, I'm not mad at you. I know what's going on. Last, my sympathy goes out to the Fulton family, Washington family, the Green family, excuse me, the Evans family, the Norman family, and the Graves, not Gray, but Graves family. And to the family of the volunteer firefighter that Darryl say lost their family. And they got this guy, I thought it was real special. His name is, I thought it was just Elijah Brown, but he passed, but his name is Pastor Elijah Brown, Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church / Superintendent of Education from Claiborne County / he was the principal at Wilkinson County He was assistant football coach at South Natchez in 1977. They had his funeral at Alcorn. It was an amazing funeral. The class of 77 from South Natchez spoke on his behalf, and they spoke real well. And my sympathy goes out to his family. And I do think we have a housing problem in this community. And at some point, the board of supervisors is gonna have to get together and have a town hall meeting, or have whatever kind of meeting we gonna have to determine how we gonna spend some of these funds that we got from ARP. And they do have another program called the Deed Fraud Protection Program, and I'm gonna pass that information on to, I don't know whether I need to pass it on to Mr. Hughes or Ms. Brandy, Mr. Terrence, but it needs to be passed on because a lot of people are getting their property stolen around here. And I had an incident where a guy just got his property back. And it was amazing he got it back. And I thought it was somebody else's property all my life, and that man got his property back. So we need to put something in place where to protect some of these people from getting their property stolen. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, President. Okay, I just want to bring this back up, have my thing. I talked to Alan Layer about that DRA grant for the water sewage. And last board meeting, I brought it up.
Grant program.
But, okay. Let me say again, I talked to Alan there about this grant, the DRA grant. He said that it wouldn't be worth submitting that grant because it's only a little bit over 19,000 we're talking about, and they was not gonna fund it. Would it be that small of amount? They look for big projects, not small projects. And we were talking about the ARP money, and Supervisor Gray just showed me something here with the county water infrastructure grant also. But he's saying with it being this small amount, usually grants do not approve that small amount of a project because it's just 19,000, a little over 19,000. And I want to try to do something for these people because we're talking about the lives of these people, and it's not such a big amount. And without us getting these grants approved, we're gonna have to try to get them to try to save lives. And I talked to Angie also about it. I think she was saying that, $19,000, we're talking about a drop in the bucket. We spend $19,000 on doing a lot of things. So if we can find a way to come up with this through the ARP money, we talked about spending some of this, some of that is for water and sewage. And instead of giving it to the Adams County Water, with Adams County Water said they would put up 10,800. And I mean, with them putting that up, that's a good help. And I'm just asking this board to see what we can do to help these people.
Supervisor Hutchins, I believe the faster we have a public hearing to address how we're gonna spend this ARP money, then you could do exactly what you're saying through the ARP money. But I don't think it's feasible for us to just start going spending the ARP money without having a public hearing and getting the public involved.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have other people come up saying something like the same thing.
Right. And we're gonna probably have that with other people, probably Boardmore, like you said, Boardmore Utility. But if Boardmore be willing to put in an amount to help, Boardmore too, that would be a great help, like Adams County Water is planning on putting in money to help. with it. So, I mean, we need to try to do some with the ARP money. We sitting here on it and keep talking about the ARP money. We need to have at least a hearing. And let's start spending some of this money. You know, we just sitting on this money. What we're gonna do, end up giving it back? We gotta make progress with it. I mean, we gotta do something. So let's set up a hearing or something so we can start spending some of this money. Don't you agree?
Scott, we can set up a hearing, man.
Excuse me?
When can we set up a hearing, with the community about this ARP money?
Anytime y'all want to, we can set a meeting.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to do.
Can you get one set up for us, Scott?
I'll be happy to. I've been saying that we need to get a plan together, a comprehensive plan together as to spend the money. I think that's a great idea.
And you're talking about shovel-ready plans already. This is one I have. We got Morgantown, that's one that's shovel-ready. We got some plans that we have that we can start spending this money. So let's go ahead and get a hearing set up for it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Supervisor Wilson.
Okay. Governor, Tate Reeves was in town, Thursday, and, he asked if anybody had any questions. Well, I happened to be there, so I had a question.
Oh, you mean to tell me the governor's here, you ain't called me, man?
I called you, man, you just wouldn't answer your phone. You thought it was somebody else taking yes calling.
I'm not gonna call you, man.
Thursday, yes, the Bergeron hosted him at a event. At any rate, I asked him if he knew anything about the cell phone and landline, the dollar everybody's paying. And I told him, that the landline had pretty much disappeared and completely disappeared, almost having cut the budget on 911. And our 911 is in deplorable shape down in the basement. And he said, well, I forget where it was, Angry or somebody that built the National Guard, had the funds available to build a new National Guard, put the 911 inside the National Guard building, which was interesting, and I think that's something that we need to kind of pursue. Our National Guard is 60 or 70 years old. I don't know how old it is, but it'd be great if we could do something like that. But in the process, I asked him about the 911. I said, do you have any idea where the 30 cents is going? We get 70 of the dollar and 30 cents. And he looked at me like I had two heads. But I said, well, I think there's like $21 billion in a fund. He said, really? And then he said, you know what, I will look into that. And I talked to him later about it some more. But so he got Sam Mims calling me back. And he said there's actually $67 billion of that 30-cent fund that's been going on for years and years. And nobody has a clue what they're going to do with it. It's just sitting there. So anyway, the governor's aware of that fund now and all that money that's in it, and we're going to try to see if there's something they can do with it. They have to send it back to the counties or whatever, but it was supposed to be to help cell tower sites locate in areas that were, did not have service. But apparently none of the cell tower companies even worry about that. So at any rate, that's just a little clarification on that fund that Mr. Bradford was talking about a couple of weeks ago. And that's all I had. I just want to bring that to y'all's attention. And that concludes my report.
Supervisor Gaines.
My report gonna be short. One thing, I usually don't address people with Facebook comments and issues. But I just am not going to directly address them because I feel like people hide behind Facebook a lot. But for the people that need to know the truth, for us like Tate Road, it's been an ongoing problem, knowing that we inherited a lot of problems. I mean, people that got good common businesses realize that when you get in a supervisor position, for 2 years and 4 to 5 months, that you have problems been going on 20 years before. And as you go, it's a process, and you can't fix them. But I have, well, I'm not gonna say me. The board has agreed to apply for a raise grant for Tate Road. I know it's one of the worst roads, one of the baddest roads in the county, but we are definitely looking into some options. It's not forgotten about, and we are working on that. Morgantown, for the citizens of Morgantown who was getting upset, wondering, are we gonna just leave them out to dry again? No, we're not. And I think everybody on the board is working towards getting a solution. So that's why it's very important not to do too much announcement until you have your full plan together. But I do want to reassure the people, my district and all the other districts, that we have a board. We don't have a perfect board by no means, and I think that's a good thing. But we do have a board that's willing to work together and help the people of Adams County as a whole, not just one district. When we see needs of the people in Adams County, we're gonna discuss it, and if anything feasible that we can do to help the people of Adams County, I think the board as a whole will get together and work it out and find the best option to help the people of Adams County. I yield the floor, Mr. President.
There's an accident in September of 2021 with Jeanette. It was on Jeanette Road. Other than what we got our claim for, was there any other out-of-pocket expenses or whatnot that you know of?
No, tore up, people didn't have any insurance.
Yeah, people didn't have insurance, so they're gonna try to go after, the insurance companies try to collect their money back, but they want to make sure that any additional
No,
costs.
that was it, it was whatever the insurance was.
Okay. Well, then I will respond back to travelers if there's no other, cost or whatever.
Scott, now that you mentioned travelers, I did get a text from a young lady and said that the sheriff department was in pursuit of something on a rocky road and kicked up some rocks and busted her windshield. And you know how travelers are, they don't want to pay for nothing. They don't want to even pay for the vehicle I had to wreck in. So what do we do? When travelers don't want to pay, because I'm sick of travelers. If they don't want to pay, then maybe we need to look at getting somebody else that will pay.
They're not gonna pay if the county's not liable, and the county's not liable when a sheriff's deputy is in pursuit and through negligence causes damage. That's the law. The Mississippi Tort Claims Act has made counties immune from lawsuit when it comes to officers in the line of their duty on negligence. It takes gross negligence for them to be liable. That's why
I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be quiet because I love myself some officers, I say, but I'm on Martin Luther King, man. I ain't saying the sheriff department, people speed up and down Martin Luther King, order for them every day and ain't going nowhere. So it's so easy to say, I'm in pursuit of something, when you ain't in pursuit of nothing. You endangering people, then when you hit it, you hide behind what you talking about. That's crazy, man.
Toward immunity act.
Well,
I completely agree with you, but I'm just telling you that that's the protection that we got. I'll print out the Tort Claims Act and you'd be very, very surprised.
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, you'll be surprised what the immunities are on it, so. And then we got with Chandler, a couple of items to be determined. Yeah.
Ms. Lewis, are you online? Okay, Paige.
Okay, so the first thing I have.
Your web via page.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
The February and March, mill report for the sheriff's office.
Heard the request. Motion by Supervisor Gay, second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Then I have the certificate of attendance for the Justice Court judges for attending their conference. These for minutes.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Wilson, second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
And then I have the election commissioners' certificate of training for their training seminar that they attended.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Gaines, second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
That's it.
Ms. King.
Yes, I have a few things. I would like to read across the minutes, the interfund loan transfer to the health insurance account.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay.
You on your job, girl.
I received, I talked to Stacy Blackstock with Clear Good. And, basically her discussion was doing a software thing for operational budget. And, the cost for it is $36,000 annually, and the setup fee is $7,200. I told her I was not interested in it, because to me, when we did our Zoom meeting, it's more or less like she's taking the budget information and drumming it over to the software. Which
What was that?
I can do that myself.
What was that?
Clear Gov. So, I told her, no, I wasn't interested in it, but she told me to bring it across the board. So board, please say no.
If you're not interested, keep moving.
You just saved us
Money.
$7.
$36,000 a year.
That's $45.
Okay, I have submitted the annual physical recovery report. I guess it did be spread across the minutes.
No move.
Motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, the use tax modernization report has also been submitted.
Need us for a council minutes, carry the motion.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Hutchins, second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, I'm begging now. I would like the board's approval to amend, Johnny Williams' budget for $50,000 for work and repairs.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, and the justice court budget needs to be amended for $225. They need a handheld metal detector. The judges are requesting.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Hutchins, second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion?
That's great.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, he did. Oh,
All in favor? He was right here.
Okay.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
I would like the board's approval to amend the county administrative budget for the adjustment in salary.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
One last thing, sometimes we have to toot employees' horns. And I received a call from somebody who was traveling, visiting Adams County. His name is Vincent Shelton. And he said that, something happened to his vehicle on the side of the road. He asked that I make the announcement that, Carolyn Wilson stopped and helped him. He was from Virginia. And he said that he was in a bad fix, that he and his wife are over 75 years old. And he was just so happy that a good Samaritan came along and helped him out, but he's from Virginia. He asked me to make this announcement.
What department Kevin Wilson?
What's that nothing to say? You got, another Kevin Wilson somewhere?
Well, that's the kind of stuff he do. We won't know recognition, but he do that.
Yeah.
Where they were
I mean, any one of us up here would do the same thing, but that's what he does, so. I
A
can't.
little note on that story, because he sent me an email, I was surprised.
Okay.
The funny thing was, first of all, they said they were going to a restaurant that had umbrellas, they could walk under umbrella, and I'm thinking. And then, they said something about banana caramel pot pie, and I said, you mean Manny's? I said, it's like 4 miles up the road, you know? But when he sent me a message, he said that, and I could tell his wife was scared to death when I stopped. But anyway, I changed the tire for him, and he said his wife had dementia. That's what he sent me later. And that she said that God had sent her an angel to take care of him.
Yeah.
And he said, and I didn't tell her any different. And that was what made that more special than anything.
Well, he reached out to me, he said, I know you're, his boss. I said, no, let me correct you. He's not my boss.
I did not correct him on that. I thank you for the comments. That was interesting.
Right, good job.
That's it.
That's for the good of the order.
Yeah.
Before you move on, I guess I'm the last one to know everything, but, Von Drill is not paying their money. Is that correct?
Well, we have an outstanding invoice.
Huh?
That's what you're asking. We have an outstanding invoice.
Yeah, so, Mr. Attorney, could you reach out to them and let them know that, we need our money?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
And he has on several occasions.
They said they'll have it in this week.
Yeah, so he,
They said they'll have it in this week, so. Because I'm still going. All right, you say.
I have a new hire for telecommunicator, Tabitha King. Hourly rate $12, annual rate $24,960. Motion by Supervisor Hutchins, second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. I need this Gerber Life Insurance Company policy contract spread across the minutes.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Hutchins, second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. EMS week is the week 15th through the 22nd. We'd like to do a board proclamation honoring them at the meeting on the 16th. Get a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Gaines, second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. We do have the correct forms signed now for Miss Angela James for travel. They're signed by Mr. Walter Brown. So, Walt Brown, so I need y'all's approval.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Gaines, second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. These are travel vouchers for you, these on the.
Those reimbursed.
Yeah. To remind everybody, Corvette has sent this out, National Day of Prayer, May the 5th, at the gazebo on the bluff from 12 to 12:45.
That's on May 5th.
I don't believe that's all I've got. They made a motion for obviously.
Hang on.
So moved.
Hang on one second.
Oh, you got some?
Southwest.
Oh,
I
yeah.
talked to alternate Southwest. He said it would be a cost. He said they're gonna raise one pole and they're gonna move one pole on Southwest. And then the other end, the other part would have to be done through the county's funds or whatever. So I asked him if I got approval for the board not to exceed $20,000, would that cover the county without having to come back? And he said yes. So to keep the job moving, that's what we need. But he said they are gonna contribute with their, help on their end too, though.
They will contribute to help.
Yeah.
So, but I need to get a motion to.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Supervisor Gaines, second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion?
Is this on State Park Road?
State Park.
All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. Okay,
That's it.
need a motion for item B time.
So,
Motion by Supervisor Gaines, second by Supervisor Hutchins. All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.